Is blindness a barrier? No.
Is deafness a barrier? No.
Are mobility, learning, cognitive disabilities, speech impairments and others, or even a combination of them, barriers? No way. Lack of accessibility is.
Welcome to Web Accessibility for All.
Follow the blind. This journey starts now.
Have you ever missed an appointment?
Tuesday. Wednesday.
Well, most of us would call that human error.
Saturday.
Let's think again.
Sunday.
Ambiguous dates, confusing calendars, complex scheduling flows. They affect almost everyone. Dates seem simple. They are everywhere. And because of that, we rarely stop to think about them. So this episode, it's about why one of the most common pieces of information in every interface may also be one of the hardest to make right. Hey, my friend, Ariel here, and welcome back to Web Accessibility for All.
Why dates are the hardest part of UI design.
04/05/2026 May 4th, 2026 4th of May, 2026 Yesterday. Next Friday. Tomorrow at 3 p.m.
What is a date, my friend? Is it just a number? Is it a piece of text? Is it a moment in time? Or is it something else? They are all describing time, but they don't work the same way.
Invisible assumptions.
Every date carries assumptions. We assume people know the format. We assume they know the language. We assume they are familiar with local conventions. Every extra assumption, every missing piece of context, every ambiguous format increases the chance of misunderstanding.
Beyond screen readers, accessibility for every user.
When people hear about these issues, they usually think about screen readers. And that's fair. Screen readers can absolutely struggle with dates. The very same date may be announced in different ways, or worse. But that's only one piece of the puzzle. Dates require interpretation, and interpretation affects more people than we usually think.
Low vision.
Imagine using a screen magnifier. You may only see one or two calendar cells at a time. I mean, no heading, no month. All you can see is
10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
14. Of what?
Braille.
Braille displays exactly what is written, but often forcing the user to stop their workflow, to toggle through reading mode or character-by-character checks. It doesn't explain ambiguous dates, so the user still has to decide what that means.
Cognitive accessibility.
Good interfaces rely on recognition whenever possible. But you know what? Many calendars do the opposite. They ask users to remember information instead of simply recognizing it. So they have to understand the order of the values, keep the current month in mind, mentally track where they are while navigating the calendar.
International users.
Someone in Argentina, in the United States, in Japan, they may all interpret the exact same date differently. Nobody is making a mistake. They are simply following the conventions they use every day. And here is the interesting part. You don't need a disability to experience this problem. This isn't just an accessibility issue, it's also a usability issue.
An accessible calendar isn't the one that passes an audit, it's the one that helps people choose a date with confidence.
What's the best way to display a date? Is it numbers? Is it words? Is it a long format? Is it a short one?
The answer is it depends.
Oof!
There isn't a perfect format, but there are definitely better choices.
Clarity over compression.
One simple design principle is this.
Don't remove the information that gives meaning.
If space is limited, maybe you can hide the year, but hiding the month often creates ambiguity. Modern browsers can format dates using the user's own regional settings. That's a huge improvement. But a perfectly localized date can still be ambiguous.
The hidden UX costs of complex calendars.
Over the years, designers have tried different approaches to allow choosing a specific date. A single text field, 3 separate drop-downs, an input with a mask, a pop-up calendar, even voice input in mobile devices. Every pattern solves some problems and creates new ones.
Case study, the appointment booking problem.
Imagine now you need to book a medical appointment. You open your healthcare portal. Before you can do anything else, you are greeted by a calendar. Month, week, days, dates. It feels normal. After all, booking appointments usually starts with a calendar. But does it help? Think about what you are actually trying to accomplish. You are trying to see a doctor. The calendar is just one possible way to get there.
A common experience.
The first available appointment is in October. What happens?
Next month. Next month. Next month.
Finally, October. Then you discover there aren't any appointments that week. So you keep going. October 1st, October 2nd, October 3rd, one day at a time. Every extra click or tap, every extra key press, every extra swipe creates another opportunity to make a mistake.
A different starting point.
Now imagine a different experience. Instead of opening a calendar, the page asks simple questions.
What's the earliest appointment you'd accept? Morning or afternoon? Do you have a preferred doctor? This week or any available date?
Before you've even seen a calendar, the system already knows what are you looking for. Now the calendar has a much simpler work. Instead of presenting every possible date, it only shows the dates that actually make sense. The calendar hasn't disappeared, it just stopped getting in the way. That's accessibility.
Navigation should feel predictable.
People should always know where they are, what changed, and what will happen next. If moving to another month or another year feels unpredictable, the calendar becomes a mess.
How to build accessible calendars that actually work.
After everything we've discussed, you might be wondering,
so what's the accessible way to build a calendar?
There isn't one, my friend. Unfortunately, standards don't give you a compliant solution. Well, that's the reason why there are so many custom calendar implementations out there. Calendars can pass automated audits while still being fundamentally broken for a real-world user.
Context is king.
One of the biggest accessibility problems is missing context. When someone lands on a day, can they tell
which month they're in, which year, whether it's today, whether it's available, whether it's already selected?
A calendar works because every day has context. You can see the month, the weekends, the holidays, the days before and after. But, as we said before, that context only works when the user understands it. Remove that context, and the calendar starts losing its value.
Think about navigation.
Moving to another month should never leave users wondering what happens. Focus should always be visible. Changes should always be understandable.
Think about different ways of interacting.
Your calendar might be used with a mouse, a keyboard, touch, voice commands, a screen reader, a screen magnifier, a switch device. Good accessibility means the interaction remains understandable, regardless of the input method.
Think about efficiency.
How much work does the calendar require? Can someone reach their goal in 5 interactions? Or does it take 50?
Think about errors.
What happens if someone selects a wrong date? Is it easy to notice? Easy to change? Easy to correct?
Principles for accessible date and time design.
People aren't trying to interact with the calendar. They're trying to get something done. If it helps to reach that goal, great. If it slows them down, it's worth asking whether there's a better way. The interface should make that obvious. Let's say this again. Every extra click, every additional month to navigate, and every unnecessary decision adds mental effort. Good accessibility often comes from removing work rather than adding more interface. Standards, audits, and automated tests all have their place, but they aren't the finish line. The real question is whether people can complete the task with confidence, efficiently, and without unnecessary effort.
Wrapping up.
The next time you add a date to an interface, don't just ask.
Is this accessible?
Ask something even more important.
Will people understand it? Will they be able to use it with confidence?
Because in the end, accessibility isn't just about helping people read time. It's about helping people make the right decisions at the right time. Thanks for listening to Web Accessibility for All. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd really appreciate if you can share, subscribe, and comment. The more we talk about these topics, the better experiences we can create for everyone. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us today. Subscribe for a new challenge next week. And don't be shy. Leave us a review or ask your accessibility questions online. See you next week for another episode of Web Accessibility for All.